Let's get to more news in the small end of town now. Battery developer Redflow has secured a second contract with the US Department of Defence to provide an energy storage solution at a naval air station in Italy. For more details, Tim Harris, Redflow's CEO and Managing Director, joins me now. Thanks so much for your time. Tim, just tell us about this agreement.
Well, thanks, Juliette. Look, this is our second project that we've announced with the US Department of Defence. As you said before, it's for a naval base of the US Department of Defence in Italy and builds on the announcement we made less than 12 months ago for the first of our projects with the US Department of Defence. So we're hugely excited about the confidence that the US Department of Defence is showing with us, and we think there's huge opportunities going forward. The US DoD has about 450 of these bases around the world, and we believe that we're the only Australian energy storage company that the US DoD is selecting for these projects.
So just tell us about what you're actually going to be supplying.
So we're going to be supplying about 400 kilowatt hours of our zinc bromine flow battery product. That's going to provide sort of backup power and resiliency to that naval base to ensure that they can keep the power on if there's any outage that occurs on that base, and also provide really strong resiliency. And this is part of the US Department of Defence's program to look at alternative lithium technologies that can support longer duration storage solutions, but also don't have the risk of thermal runaway that you have with lithium batteries.
When are we expecting deployment and commissioning, I guess, of the system?
So we're expecting that towards the end of this year, and that's actually aligned with the first of the deployments that we're having with the US Department of Defense, which is for, again, an Air Force base in New York State. So we're hugely excited about those, and we think that's a really strong vote of confidence in us and us as a company, but also in terms of our technology and solution.
Are you able to tell us, I guess, what the financial aspect of the agreement is?
Well, the financial impact is really kind of incremental. It's 400 megawatt hours, and so the previous project that we announced was kind of 1.2 to 1.4. But what we think is significant about this announcement is it's the second project that the US DoD is wanting to do with us. And as we said before, they're very much on the hunt for lithium alternatives at the moment, and so we see this as a very strong stamp of confidence in us and our solution. And it reflects our strategy about focusing on larger scale systems. And we're hugely excited about this project and the projects looking forward.
As you say, your second project with the US Department of Defence, I assume you would love it if you had some more in the pipeline too.
Well, look, the US Department of Defence has got about 450 bases around the world. They're absolutely looking for energy storage solutions. And again, as we said before, they're wanting longer duration. And they're concerned about the risk of thermal runaway that you get with lithium-based battery systems. And so we believe that we're the only Australian company that's been selected by the US DoD for these types of projects. And it builds on, we think, a pretty good run that we've had lately in the US in terms of announcement of projects with the US Department of Energy. And also we now announced a series of projects with the California Energy Commission. And so the US market is the largest energy storage market in the world. It's super dynamic, and we're hugely excited about an Australian company that's really at the heart of the energy transition, making some great progress in those markets.
What is different, Tim, about this storage solution? And I guess tell us also what is the sense in terms of fire-safe chemistry working here too?
So we're a zinc bromine flow battery. Flow batteries are much more orientated towards energy-based deployment. So whereas lithium's a bit more power orientated, we're much more energy orientated. And when you're starting to see lots of renewable energy being generated that's got nowhere to go, the role of flow batteries and solutions like Redflow is really coming into the forefront. And you're seeing companies like Energy Queensland here and our home base in Brisbane doing a project with us. About 3 weeks ago, we announced a further project with Horizon Power, which is our first project with that utility in WA. And you're starting to see the recognition that sort of medium to longer term energy storage duration is really required to enable us to hit our renewable energy targets. And you couple that with a very fire safe, also 100% recyclable solution and a technology that we've been in development for over 15 years, we think we're really on the cusp of some really exciting things today and also in the future.
A good day for your shares today, Tim. Not so much when you look at a longer term chart. What would you like to see, or where would you like to see your company valued?
Look, we always think that we've got a great thing. We've got a huge addressable market. This is a technology that's been many years in the making, and What we are finding now is that the addressable market that we're seeing and the contracts that we've secured with customers such as Acciona is really starting to reflect a market and a demand that is reflective of where we have our kind of value proposition and where we've been diligently kind of developing our technology. So we've announced about over $50 million of projects over the last 11 months, and our focus will be on steadily executing those. But we also see significant other exciting projects in the multi-megawatt hour range in our pipeline as well. And so we're focusing on our strategy, and we believe that the market and the valuation of the market will start to accept that. I think the important thing about today's announcement, again, as we said before, it's the second project we've done, the US DoD. So we must be doing something right for them to endorse us for the second project.
Absolutely. And where else are you seeing, or what other sort of sectors are you seeing use, I guess, across telecommunications, but where else?
Look, usually in terms of the commercial industrial customers, a lot of those have got very definitive energy storage sort of requirements, but also some very strong energy transition targets themselves. As we said before, we're working closely with utilities in Australia and also other markets as they start to think about how can I shift a lot of that excess energy that I'm generating effectively and efficiently to when it's needed most. The so-called kind of duck curve in our industry is there's too much renewable energy being generated during the day and it's got nowhere to go. And that's where companies like Redflow and Flow batteries have a really key role to play. So our target markets are in Australia and also in the US, but there's huge opportunities for us on a global basis. Our target market's probably valued at well in excess of $100 billion, and that's going to grow at sort of 20% CAGR over the next kind of 10 years. And so there's huge demand and opportunities out there for us. And we've been doing this for a long time. We've delivered about 3.2 gigawatt hours of energy through our systems. And so we feel that we're one of the most commercially mature, technically advanced, long duration energy storage companies in the market, and we're poised to really tap into that demand.
Is the glut in the lithium market also potentially working in your favour?
Look, we think we do different things, and what we see also is probably the focus on some participants in the market, whether it's government or other large buyers, wanting to diversify and look for solutions above and beyond lithium. So for us, it's not an or question, it's us or lithium, it's actually an and question. Lithium is great for kind of shorter term duration, but flow batteries and the Redflow solution is really ideally suited towards that kind of 4 to 16 hour type duration, which lithium is very well ill suited to. So we actually see it being complementary to the lithium market, and that's what we're seeing the feedback from our customers as well.